Welcome to our latest OSINT briefing on the Ukraine-Russia war. Today is August 25th, 2026. My name is Gianluca. Visit my website www.osintinvestigate.com. We are looking at the conflict through open-source intelligence, satellite imagery, geolocated videos, flight and maritime data, battlefield maps, official statements, and independent verification. The most important trend right now is the growing Ukrainian campaign against targets deep inside Russia. Ukrainian drones have increasingly struck oil refineries, logistics hubs, warehouses, and other infrastructure far from the front line. The objective appears broader than simply destroying individual targets. Ukraine is attempting to disrupt Russia's military logistics, energy system, and economic capacity to sustain the war. Russia is responding with stronger security measures. On August 24th, Vladimir Putin signed a decree allowing the state to temporarily take control of critical infrastructure considered inadequately protected against Ukrainian attacks. The measure covers energy, transport, communications, and logistics facilities. Another key development is the evolution of drone warfare. Ukraine is combining long-range attack drones with increasingly sophisticated intelligence and targeting systems. At the same time, Russia continues to rely heavily on missile and drone attacks against Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. This creates a technological race. Not only who can build more drones, but who can detect, identify, jam, and destroy them more efficiently. Artificial intelligence is becoming part of this race. Britain and Ukraine have announced deeper cooperation involving Ukrainian battlefield data and AI systems designed to identify Russian military targets. The partnership highlights how Ukraine's experience on the battlefield is becoming a valuable source of data for the development of next-generation military technologies. On the battlefield itself, the situation remains fluid. Russia continues trying to advance in eastern Ukraine, particularly toward strategically important areas of Donbass, while Ukraine is attempting to slow or reverse Russian gains. The available OSINT picture does not suggest a simple or imminent collapse of either side. Instead, the war remains a grinding contest in which relatively small territorial changes can require enormous resources and casualties. Another important issue is air defense. Ukraine continues to face a serious shortage of Patriot interceptors and other advanced air defense systems, precisely as Russia maintains pressure with ballistic missiles and drones. European governments are increasing their support. On August 24th, the European Union approved another €6.1 billion for Ukrainian defense, including air defense, missiles, ammunition, and radar systems. The diplomatic picture is equally complex. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky now sees a potential window for U.S.-mediated negotiations extending from the G20 summit in December 2026 into the summer of 2027. Kyiv and Western partners are working on proposals that reportedly include a ceasefire and a possible special economic arrangement in Donbass. But Moscow continues to insist that any settlement must reflect what it calls the realities on the ground, while its territorial claims remain a fundamental obstacle. There is also disagreement over a possible ceasefire in the Black Sea. Ukraine has proposed protecting civilian vessels carrying agricultural products, but Zelensky says Russia is linking such an agreement to a halt in Ukrainian attacks on Russian energy infrastructure. From an OSINT perspective, perhaps the most important lesson is that information itself has become a battlefield. A video on social media is not automatically evidence. Investigators must verify location, date, weather conditions, shadows, landmarks, and the identity of military equipment. Artificially generated or manipulated images are making this task increasingly difficult. So, what is the big picture as of August 25th? Ukraine is expanding its ability to strike Russian infrastructure at long range. Russia retains significant offensive and missile capabilities. Both sides are accelerating drone and AI warfare. Ukraine remains heavily dependent on Western air defense support, while diplomacy continues without a clear breakthrough. The war is therefore being fought simultaneously on three levels: the physical battlefield, the technological battlefield, and the information battlefield. For OSINT analysts, the challenge is to separate confirmed evidence from propaganda, incomplete information, and deliberate deception. That is today's briefing. Follow the evidence, verify the imagery, and remember, In modern warfare, what we can see is not always the same as what is actually happening. This is OSINT and the Ukraine-Russia war. Stay informed, stay skeptical, and verify before you share.